Let me know when, Bobby. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're live right now on YouTube, Villa Roma Television. With me, the very legendary Hunter Hayes from Montclair, New Jersey, the Garden State. Hunter Hayes, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Doc. I'm doing really good, really good.
You're part of the Catskill Festival. It's the first festival here at Villa Roma Resort under the new ownership, Fay Hospitality. How you feeling, Hunter? You performed this morning. You did the 10 o'clock in the morning brunch. You did over 2.5 hours of music, and they were really digging you, huh?
Yeah, they were digging me because I was digging what I was doing. I sat up all night putting the right songs together, Sweet Caroline, My Girl, little Frank Sinatra, a little Tony Bennett, and then I played my sax, a little blues. And you gotta include somebody. Every once in a while, somebody out there is gonna jump on something. If they don't like My Girl, they might like the blues on the sax. Or if if they're a little older, they might want some Frank Sinatra.
We were just talking about presentation, and presentation is a big part of show business. Tell them about presentation, Hunter Hayes.
Well, my wife told me about presentation. She used to take me out to dinner, and if it didn't look right or something, she would complain. I'm like, what's the problem? You just got to eat the food. But she said, no, presentation makes you want to eat the food. A picture makes you want to see what this guy sings like. And nothing more disappointing than something that looks good, tastes bad, looks good, sounds terrible. So you got to have presentation. At least they want to be interested in what's going to go on. Like, how many people don't know me at Villa Roma that now know me because they saw the pictures in the hallway, wanted to go see what this guy sounds like. And then I start singing good, and they're glad they came.
That's right. It was a wonderful brunch. The food was exquisite. Wolfgang, our new corporate chef, has it going on. And I can tell you, on stage, I'm on stage quite a bit. And what you are on stage is what the audience becomes. So if you're nervous on stage, the audience actually becomes nervous. If you're comfortable, they are actually comfortable with you. So tell us about that, being on stage and just performing and making that audience just feel part of it.
Well, when I was in high school, I didn't know what to do with myself. So I had my saxophone hanging around my neck, and I started turning to the side and turning my back, and the old guy said, never turn your back on the audience. Engage, get some eye contact. And usually, if whatever your problem is in life, if you're one of those people that hide from people, you won't want to make eye contact. But I always wanted to challenge people by looking them right in their face and say, my girl, talking about my girl. And if I do that, I get a reaction out of the whole table, not just the person I'm talking to. So you got to be alive on stage. If you're not, don't do it until you look in the mirror, go home with your karaoke box, get in front of the mirror, sing your song, and then get somebody else to look at you in the family. Usually if your brother or your sister's looking at you, they're going to say, you look terrible. But don't ask them. Ask one of your friends who doesn't care, and they say, oh, you sound pretty good. And that usually will give you a meter on what you should do. I was able to do it early. My mother even told me, she said, son, you got something your father did not have. And he played drums with Dizzy Gillespie and Miles Davis and those guys. So, yeah, you have to have your stage presentation, get your jacket, get your clothes together, crease your pants. Don't try to have too many scary things like piercings and tattoos all over your face when you first come out. If you want to grow into that later on and do like Madonna and Lady Gaga and put meat all over yourself, that's your business. But I ain't doing that. I'm going to do like my grandfather told me, hey, play real music, kid. There's Count Basie, there's the Supremes, there's people who get dressed up, they work out their choreography, they check their voice on their phone or their tape deck, and if you sound mellow like summer wind came blowing in from across the sea, how can you be mad at that? You don't come out screaming, ah, oh, scary.
So your songs are mellow, and you play how many instruments, Hunter Hayes?
Oh man, I can play the piano over there, the harmonica, all the saxes, which is 4 of them, alto, tenor, baritone, and with a soprano. And then I can sit on the drums and keep a beat if the band needed to keep a beat. And all the keyboard instruments, synthesizers and everything, I know how to operate them. Yeah, about 10 or 12 instruments.
And you have your own voice, but you sing and you emulate some great stars. And we'll go back to when you were here just about a couple of years ago. You were part of our show, Tribute to the Troops, where we honor our veterans and all that have served. And you did quite the performance singing Mr. Ray Charles. Tell us about that song. It's very lively and it gets the audience going.
Well, years and years and years ago, I won't tell you how old I am. I usually do, but I'm not going to do it now. I saw Clinton have his inauguration on the White House lawn. And Ray Charles, man, came out with his sunglasses on, and I'm standing up watching the TV at home. And he sat there, and the music started with America the Beautiful. And he started rocking back and forth. And then I heard him say, "Oh, beautiful, for spacious sky, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty." And I started crying. I said, man, music does do that. It's been doing it to me since I was a kid. My mother used to sing and make me cry, but when he did that, I said, that's what I want to do. I want to not make people cry, but I want to move them like I'm moved. But I have to sound kind of like that. I don't want to copy him, but I want to make people remember why they cried when they heard him sing that and think about America the Beautiful, the original dream. I don't know what happened now, but hopefully we can get things back on track someday. But that makes you want to be an American. When you hear American songs, whoever wrote them, they wrote them from here. Whoever wrote the national anthem, which is Francis Scott Key, I believe that when he saw that flag waving with the holes in it, still standing up on the pole there, he just said, "Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?" And he started crying himself because it was a thing that only God can give you that inspiration to create things, to create the electric light, the telephone, the car, the electric car, whatever it is, that has to be given from above. You just don't wake up and say, let's create something today. That happens in a dream, man, and you know it.
Well, there's a person in here this weekend that has big dreams, and he's done very well for himself. And I'm talking about the new owner of Villa Roma, Sandeep Wadhwa. And I can tell you that his visions, he's got some visions for this place. Embracing the local community. My new tagline is serving our guests and the local community. Embracing local talent and the artists that are in this area and embracing them. How do you feel about his vision for going forward with the Villa Roma and making it, he wants to make it the Nashville of the Catskills. So that's exciting news for someone like myself. How do you feel about that, Hunter Hayes, and being part of the very first festival here and the part of the legs that will bring us forward?
I feel really, really hopeful and great about it. And what my wife and I have already seen, and we were here a couple of years ago, and it's nice. You made it nice, you enjoy, and the people. But this time when we came, we noticed some things right away when we pulled up, right, honey? And we were like, oh, wow, look at this. They got this and they got that. This is new. Look at the rooms, or like they're done over. But the performance of what he has allowed. We came in here, look at this stage. This was not like this when we came before. It's got depth like the Apollo Theater, and I've appeared at the Apollo twice, 3 times actually. And this reminds me of when I went to the Apollo and all the professional, he spent a lot of money, I know, just on these monitors It's about $5,000 or $6,000, $10,000 worth of just these on the floor. The ones right there, they hang. I saw those at Radio City. You don't get those anywhere. Those are Radio City speakers, man, and the bass bottoms there. And I've seen them at the Apollo, Radio City, and where did we go? The other place where we saw, Lincoln Center, and the other place in Montclair. Yes. Anyway, we saw right away that money was spent here. The entertainers here last night, those young musicians, they were like John Coltrane and Miles Davis, the trumpet player, the little kid with the big afro. I saw him in the hallway. I was like, kid, you're good. I mean, like, you're really good. I recorded some of it so I could go and start playing my saxophone and steal a couple of his licks, man. That's the kind of entertainment. I mean, he had a girl singer here, and she looked good.
Ella Vaughn.
Ella Vaughn, and the tap dancer, what's his name?
A.C. Lincoln.
A.C. Lincoln. And they were great. And then up in the dining room, we were eating, there was a Latin band.
Gerardo Contino Band.
Gerard, and I saw him we saw him in the elevator going up. Immediately I knew he was an entertainer because the way he was dressed, and he was being so nice to me and everything. He said, thank you. And I said, you're singing today, aren't you? He said, yes. And he said, you too? I'm like, yeah, I'll be doing the brunch tomorrow. And he came up like he promised. Musicians usually keep their word to each other. And that level of entertainment, the diversity, the Latin, the jazz, I was doing R&B and pop, and the tap dancing, never saw that before at Villaroma.
You know what they call that, Hunter? I think they call that the root of music. The root of music means it could be a tribute, it could be blues, jazz, as you know. It could be any type of music. I think the root of music is right here at Villaroma.
It definitely is right here at Villaroma, but the best thing about it is that you can see it all in one complex. It's all here during your weekend here. And I hope we do this a lot. I hope he really just continues to do his vision along with your direction. And people like myself who I got a few suggestions that would make it even better. And we'll talk about that later. But I'm excited about it, man. And now we want to be here more, right? I mean, I think we need to come up and throw our voice into the circle here and make it happen.
I would love that. How many people would love to see Hunter Hayes back here again? Definitely. I'd like to see just this jacket again. I like a jacket like this. I have quite the collection, but I don't have one like that, Hunter. I'm going to wear a nice one tonight, but...
No, your jackets are happening, man. I got about, maybe how many about 20. They take up a whole row in the closet. She had to move her stuff, and women have more clothes than we do. But I see some of my friends over there who came and stayed the whole brunch. And they ate, and then they ate again, and then they watched, and then they waited for me to take a break and come back. And we had a great time today. It was a spiritual time also, reminiscing about, that's why I do the old music. Some lady asked me one time, can you sing Britney Spears? I said, lady, I'm an African-American man. And I'm old. And she said, but you know what? I went into my phone and plugged it in and played a Britney Spears song. And I said, miss, come here. I said, thank you for thinking I could sing anything. She said, you can sing anything. So I kind of took it back that I was a little annoyed that she thought I could sing Britney Spears. It's okay now because that's a tribute to what she thinks she can do. You can do anything. And you can do anything. Doc makes things happen around here. Man, right, honey, he runs around. You'll see Doc over there. You ever see a cartoon where they pop up anywhere? Come out of the sewer, come out of the tree, come out of the sky. This is Doc right here. He's everywhere. And then when you think you don't see him, he's changed his clothes, got one of his family's jackets on, and tied. Look at, he's all tied up and everything down. And he's right behind you saying, what do you need? Okay, I'll get that for you. What do you need? My wife wanted to prop the picture up. She said, I'm going to go back in the room and get, he said, use this mic stand. He makes things happen. I love it. And he can play ping pong. He can play pickleball. He's, how old are you?
67.
Oh, okay. I got you beat by 13 years. I'm 74.
Well, you look great, Hunter Hayes.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
and you play that saxophone like you've been playing it your whole life. So what age did you start?
16 years old, Montclair, New Jersey, high school. I wanted to play something, so my teachers heard me sing at a talent show when I was in the 8th grade. They sent a letter to Montclair High School, look out for this kid, he's good, give him something to do. So Mr. Napawalki, the music teacher, said to me, what do you want to play? I said, I want to play trumpet. We don't have no more. Okay, I want to play sax. We don't have no more. Okay, trombone. We don't have no more. I said, what do you got? We got the tuba. So he said, listen, if you learn the tuba for football season, because we have nobody to march down the field playing all this Philip Sousa marches. So I learned, because I have a good memory, I memorized all 66 books of the Bible by name. And so he said, if you do that for me, I'll get you a saxophone. So I went home, took the music, and learned how to play the tuba, all the notes, came back, memorized the whole song, all the music, the John Philip Sousa March, Go You Northwestern. And he looked at me while he was directing the orchestra. He said, wait a minute, Hunter, you're not reading the music. I said, no, Mr. Knapp, I memorized it. So after class, he said, come over here. He said, you could be in the all-state orchestra, the all-state band. You could be first seat. I said, who wants to be first seat with a tuba? I don't want to be first seat, Mr. Knapp. Please give me a saxophone.
Was it a rental or did
No,
you
it wasn't
buy?
a rental. My mom, God bless her, she didn't make a lot of money. She only went up to the 5th grade. And she worked so hard to get that little $23 a month to rent me a brand new saxophone from Dorn and Kirshner, so I'd have a sax. And I blessed her with learning how to play it correctly. And I played Alfie, was my first song I played. What's it all about? And I played it because I wasn't singing yet, but I played it as if I was singing. And she started crying. And she said, you're going to play that for Grandma on Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving, I had to bring the saxophone. After dinner, I had the whole family sitting around. And I'm playing What's It All About like I was by myself. I closed my eyes. And my grandmother said, play it again. I had to play it 4 times for the family. And after that, my cousins thought I was going to be famous and all and everything. But it all worked itself out. And then when I went to school, my friend Danny heard me. He said, play in our band. Next thing you know, I was playing in that band. Then we got noticed by Kool and the Gang's manager. And he had just broken up with Kool and the Gang. And he said, I want you and your guys to play some of Kool and the Gang's music. He said, they're going to allow me to have it because I co-wrote these songs, Who's Going to Take the Weight. Celebration didn't happen yet, and neither did Joanna and all that other stuff. That came later with JT. I met JT, and we discussed this like me and you. He said, so when did you get in the group? I said, well, that was way before you. That was in the 69, 70, 71. And he didn't get in the group. Celebration and Ladies Night didn't come out until in the 80s. Definitely the 80s, and that's how they got in the Hall of Fame. They were playing funk music, jungle boogie, the jungle, and the record company said, "That's it for the jungle boogie stuff. You guys better start singing, or you're not going to be signed." So they called JT. They were friends of his, and why didn't they call me? Because I was in another group, and they couldn't find my number. This is how the story really goes. I could have been singing Ladies Night, but we wouldn't have wrote Ladies Night with me. We would have wrote other songs. Thank God I didn't get in the group, because you would have never had Ladies Night in Celebration. But anyway, he got with them. He was a great singer, and they wrote Ladies Night, Celebration, Joanna, all that good stuff, and they got signed, and eventually now they're in the Hall of Fame. I took my path, and someone asked me, could I write a TV theme song? And I helped them write it for a TV show called Due Process, and they won Emmy Awards. So my path led me to we usually bring the Emmy with us and sit it right here. It's in the room. But this is good enough. You see it? It's there. But that's what happened. And so, yeah, that's the basic story of how I did that.
All right, so So what I'm thinking right now is that your name, Hunter Hayes, when someone says Hunter Hayes, when I mention your name, right away they think of this young kid who is a country singer. And tell us the story with that Hunter Hayes.
Man, it was in 1994 or 5. This kid was born in 1990. No, 1994. I don't know. I forgot. I was watching Maury Povich one day. And this little kid with an accordion comes out and he's doing Zydeco music from Louisiana. And he's singing hard. He's 5 years old. Hunter Hayes. I'm like, wait a minute. This little white kid, man, he's got my name. And he's killing it. I mean, I was proud of him. And then later on, I didn't think that was going to come back to bite me. About 20 years, almost, by the time he was almost 20, 21 years old, I have a son, Hunter, and he's born in 90, so he's 2 or 3 years older than this kid. I got a letter, email, saying, cease and desist from using the name Hunter Hayes. So, Doc, I looked at that email like it had 3 heads. I didn't know what to say first. Like, get the heck out of here. Who do you think you are? I'm the first Hunter Hayes. My dad was Hunter Hayes and my grandfather was Hunter Hayes the first. I kind of said all that, but I said it in a nice way. My mother always said, calm down, count it, whatever. So I answered back, please hear my words. My name is Hunter Hayes the third. My son is Hunter Hayes of the fourth. My father and my grandfather, especially my grandfather, Hunter Hayes the first, was named after Reverend Hunter, the first graduate of the school that my great-grandfather founded. He named his son Hunter. This is back in 1910. So if you can go to court and prove that you were the first one to use the name Hunter Hayes, then I'll let you tell me not to use it anymore. But other than that, please don't write me again. And I'm going to be singing to the heavens with Hunter Hayes on my head, on my forehead. And that's when I started putting it on my hat. I'm Hunter Hayes the first in music, okay? But I like that kid because when the girls loved him and we played in Piscataway one time, right, honey? Buses of girls came because they heard in the news, in Piscataway newspaper, that Hunter Hayes was going to be at the park. It was me. So these 3 buses of all these kids and their parents came, and they pulled up to the parking lot. I'm like, wow. And they got out, and the first thing that some of the girls did as they were coming into the park, they were texting, don't come, this is black guy. Don't, turn around, go back. It's not the one we wanted. And I read some of the stuff online and said, you're not Hunter Hayes. And I'm like, whatever your name is, young lady, there's got to be at least 20 more of you in the world. So I am Hunter Hayes. And 10 more people are named Hunter Hayes, maybe just not famous. So I love you, but I'm Hunter Hayes. So yeah, it turned out to be a thing. I never heard from them again. They left me alone. I kept on recording my things. I got some nice recordings that I got here. Some of them online, a lot of them. I wrote the New Jersey theme song.
That's right. A lot of the posts that I put up, I call them musical postcards. So it might be a picture, not a video, but I put music in the background of it. So I was posting an advertisement for Hunter being my co-host here for the festival and also performing at the festival. So I picked out one of his songs. So I type in on Instagram, Hunter Hayes, and then the country singer Hunter Hayes comes up, and then there it is, wearing his gold jacket with his Emmy, is Hunter Hayes from Montclair, New Jersey. So you just have to scroll and hit the right one.
Way down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to scroll like 100 people down, and then you'll, 100 of the first Hunter, of the white Hunter Hayes, all his music comes first, and then comes mine, because I didn't get a computer until I married her 17 years ago. And she bought me a computer, but by then, this other kid, his people were like right on it. They got on the line early, so they were, so bottom line, look down the bottom of the page and you'll see little old me there But if you put in Hunter Hayes, New Jersey, it'll come right up to the top, and then you'll see, give me New Jersey shore, and I won't roam no more. It's the place where I belong. I love it there, born in a little place they call Montclair. I did it after kind of New York beat, but I put all the things about New Jersey in. It's a nice song.
So you write songs as well as sing and perform, and I know that you're big on the scene. Now, many people, they see you, they hear you, and they say, man, this guy is fantastic, he's awesome. How many big venues do you actually play, Hunter? The majority of your venues are actually smaller venues that mean so much more than a bigger venue. Tell them about that, what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, I started out dreaming, like most of us do, and I did get a chance to play the Apollo 3 times. I played Atlantic City, I played at Caesars, I played Bally's. I did all kinds of big ballrooms. I did all the big catering places of the world. And but after my career started going along, and my mother, who used to work in a senior facility, she said, come and sing for my residents, son. And I said, Ma, I don't have time. I got to go over here, I got to go over there. And then one day she got old enough till she was in the facility. And then I understood. And I went every year to sing for her for Mother's Day and for all kinds of things. And I really realized her and her friends that she grew up with, they loved me. They made me feel like I was Michael Jackson or somebody when I would go there. So now that she's gone, I sing senior citizen. I have about almost 20 of them. And they just can't get enough of having me there. And I sing 2 or 3 a week. The only reason I'm doing it tonight because we promised you we'd be here. And we made room for this. But I do about 2 or 3, 4 or 5 a week. And they pay me better for an hour, $250 an hour. Who makes that besides welders and people who are like, you know, and my wife said, hey, you can live like that. And so we decided that that's the way we're going to go. We went smaller instead of bigger. And I'm old and I'm over the hill. So kids don't get me anymore. So I tell people when they hire me because they're excited about my voice and they see people having fun, I said, don't book me to your kid's party. Please don't do it. Don't book me to anybody that's 20 and under, maybe 25 and under. But my age group is still alive. And there's plenty of them, and I sing for them, and I sing for the seniors, and that's my life now. I'm enjoying it. I'm not out to pasture yet, but I can smell the cows a little bit. You know.
And we appreciate you so much, Hunter, because there's so many actors and musicians and entertainers out there that have these agents that they were once your friend, and you call them on the phone, they don't even talk to you now. They say, I'll talk to my agent. How do you feel about that, Hunter Hayes? How did you come to be here at the Villa Roma? Did I call your agent?
No, you did not. You know how you met me? Friends of ours have a timeshare here. Mary Lou and Bruce, got to say their names. And they invited us up for a weekend. So, of course, we started coming to all the bingo, this and that. We missed bingo today, honey. And we came in and saw you and Joy, and you were singing and doing all kinds of comedy acts and things, and I'm sitting there and I'm squirming because, man, I want to get up there and do that, but I had to be humble and just, my mother always said, stay in your place, and if they ask you to come, then you can go up.
So let me just take it right here, just a second, I'll put it right back to you. So Hunter Hayes and Gloria are sitting in the audience in Marty's Lounge with their friends, and after the show, Hunter came up and he said, you know, I'm a performer, here's my card, and I knew nothing of Hunter. I did not know Hunter at all. He said, here's my card. He says, if you ever need me, give me a call. So I didn't even look at the card. I put it in my pocket, and I didn't look till the very next day. And one thing in this business, you want to be a vetter. You vet, so you check out the entertainer. A lot of them have a good line, and they say how good they are. But Hunter didn't say that. He says, if you need me, just call me. He didn't say anything about his background. When I checked out his background, I almost fell on the floor, knowing the background of an unbelievable musician and entertainer. And I was like, wow, this is unreal. So of course I called him. He came up here and agreed to come up and be part of our Villa Roma Got Talent for maybe 8 out of 10 weeks. And this was not even a paid thing. He came up on his own and was thrust into our show and got a chance to perform for the audience, who embraced him as if he was part of the Villa Roma family. And we made you feel so welcome. And I was so happy for that the Villa Roma people embraced Hunter, that the rest is history, Hunter. And we're so glad that you are part of all of this.
Yeah, it was, they made me feel, standing in, this room was packed all those times, because they have their kids and everything. And standing up on this stage, I looked out and I said, wow, do I have anything to give all these people who never saw me? And it's like starting all over. You got to prove who you are, or you're going to prove who you are not. And so once I opened my mouth and I saw the bobbing of the head and the tapping of the feet, and when we're singing Sweet Caroline and everybody sings along with you, I knew that music is a universal language. And that's when I knew that I was going to be part of the Villa Roma family.
Very nice, Hunter. And we're so glad that when I called you originally for this festival, when I call, I don't know if you could be part of it or not, but I wanted you so, when you said yes, and we signed the deal just on that very phone call without even signing anything, actually, that just made me feel so proud. And I was able to tell everyone, Hunter Hayes is coming back home to the Villa Roma. So what do you want to say to us? Where people are watching at home, and they can, and the beauty about the YouTube and going live is, at the end of this live, this becomes a part of history that you could watch this over and over and over again, kind of like a entertainment time capsule. We'll be doing many more of these with the help of Bobby Blackjack and Villa Roma Television, Villa Roma Radio. But there's some young ones out there watching, so tell them what it takes to get where you are today. What does it take? Is it just something that comes easily? Does it take hard work? What does it take to get up here on this stage and be a success like Hunter Hayes?
You got to see it. You got to dream it. You have to see yourself doing it. You got to believe, and don't listen to the people. The first 5 people are going to tell you you have nothing. I have had people tell me that I went to sing for an audition for a guy once when I was young, and he said, folded his hands, looked at me as I was sitting at the piano playing my original music. He said, I don't hear it. Nothing, you have nothing. Then another guy named Walter Gollander, God bless him, he believed in me. He sent out my little cassette tapes to all these colleges, and they said, he's not our type. He has nothing. We don't need him. So I had to still say to myself, I have something. So when I was a kid, I dreamed, and I saw it in my mind. I said, I know I have something. So I kept forging ahead and practicing till my lip got sore from the saxophone. And then one day I found my voice through Stevie Wonder. I heard Stevie Wonder sing, for once in my life, I have someone who needs me, someone I needed so long. And when I heard, and I was depressed that week at school, for whatever reason I was sitting home like this. And when I heard that coming out of the radio, I said, if this blind kid can be that happy, and he's blind, what am I sitting here trying to be sad about? I went up to National Music Store and bought me a harmonica, and learned how to play that whole solo, and I learned how to sing for once in my life. My friends heard me, we got in the band and everything, and one thing always leads to another, but you gotta put the first foot out there. And if it gets run over, then use the other foot. But, and parents, please don't tell your kids just because you want them to be doctors and lawyers like you. Cut it out. God gave them their own message in their mind. And if they continue to do it against your will, don't fight against that, because you're only going to make them mad and rebel. If you don't want them to be with a certain young man and you start doing things that make them angry, just pray about it and say, God, guide this kid, because he seems to be wanting to do this and it doesn't seem right. But nothing seems right if you're trying to invent the electric light or the telephone or a Tesla or anything else that somebody has invented that their parents never thought about. If your parents would have thought about it, they would have thought about it. The kid that you have, encourage whatever it is, like Mark, our nephew. God bless your sister. She did the travel hockey thing, and he went and became a star in the college realm of when he went to Rensselaer College. And they called him Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch on the ice. And I'm a black guy, and that was the first time I was introduced to hockey. And they took me to Madison Square Garden, and Mark, they chose, he was blessed because God gave him that. And he went out on the ice and scored a goal. Him and his friend blocked the goal, and they were up on the Jumbotron at Madison Square Garden. I said, that's the way you do your kid. Whatever they're interested in, let them be interested as long as it's not selling drugs or, robbing people. Get your kid involved, stay involved with them, see where God is overriding you as a parent to say, I put this interest in your kid. Follow the money, follow the interest wherever they go. And I did that. And I kept going, and one thing led to another. After a while, my foot didn't get run over anymore. After a while, people were opening doors for me. And I'm like, okay, I'll go in this door over there. And my aunt, God bless Aunt Carrie, she said, nephew, when one door closes, another one opens. I had parents, my mother only went up to the 5th grade, but she said, you're more talented than your father. Follow your star. She said, one day everybody's going to realize who you are, son. And God bless her for putting that in me so I quit school I didn't finish, but I did go back and get my high school equivalency later because my talent led me out on the road with Kool and the Gang and those guys. And so I said, well, I'm going to make money with music. But I did go back, because my mother was right, finish school and follow your star also. And please don't force your kids to do something that you did, because you didn't do any electric light inventing or anything. So they could be smarter than you. That's what you want. Let them follow that, and I'm not going to wear that out, but that's okay.
Well, Hunter, I can tell you this. We'll close with this one here, and we'll let you get some rest. And I know we're going to be partying tonight with the great entertainment. But there's a lot of mean people in the world, a lot of negativity going on. You see bullies and bullying on the internet and bullying and making kids just downright depressed. And I could say this, if you're a talented musician and you're really getting into this, say you're playing that saxophone and you're playing and someone just bullies you and say you're no good, you know what? Some kids will give up, but the ones that persevere, those are the ones that will make it. Huh, Hunter Hayes? Those don't give up. If someone puts you down, don't even let it just brush right off you, and you follow that path to success. How about it?
Yeah, never give up. I wrote a song called Never Give Up, right, honey? Never give up on a good thing, baby. Never give up. Pray together, stay together. Work on your plans, whatever. Keep your head to the sky. Keep on trying. Sometimes you don't know why. So never give up. If you look online and put in Hunter Hayes, Never Give Up, you'll hear that song. It's a nice boppy little tune. Make sure you never tell your kids, never give up. You're going to fall down 2 or 3 times. you as a parent or the aunties like I had, if you're an auntie and you see the parent is not really seeing the light, help them. Help the nephew or the niece or whoever you have to never, there's something to be said about that never give up thing. And the bullies, they always end up somehow, they don't end up good. I've had bullies in my life. I had a guy who tried to stop me from singing. I never told you that story where he was trying to take me to court and stop my voice. And he said, well, he's singing on my tapes and now he wants to go to Columbia Records and this and that. And I can't let him go because I invested too much money into him. So the judge said, well, you don't have enough money to do better than Columbia Records, right, sir? And he said, well, no, it's because of him I don't have. He said, well, if you can't afford to make him more famous than Columbia Records can make him, then why should I let him stay with you? So the judge freed me from that guy, and he passed away eventually. Everybody who kind of did me really wrong, I lived to see them not do well. I don't want to say pass away, although some did. Bullies will eventually fade into the night. And the angels, which is you and the kids that never give up, they are special angels and they will shine to the brighter day, to these lights come on them, and they will be seen and heard and they will make it.
I love that, Hunter. You know, sometimes, yeah, give Hunter a hand right here. Those are some great words, Hunter. You know, sometimes, you press on, you want to make things happen, and you're getting all these tasks done and everything. Sometimes you just don't have time to listen to the negativity because you have a job to do, you have a mission, you have goals and aspirations and dreams, and you want to carry everything out, and you don't want anything to bring you down when you're trying to accomplish that stuff. And especially in my job, Hunter, we want to make everybody happy, so we just got to press on and smile, and sometimes even when you're not feeling good, you just got to smile, and that's right. How about it? Are you always feeling good on stage? Have you ever performed when you weren't feeling so good?
No. I mean, yes, sometimes I come to work, sometimes when I think of what I gotta go get the equipment, and then it's cold outside, I really kind of don't. But once I get in front of the people, I get warm, I get energy, and I'm like, I know you want to leave, man. Come on, let's go, man. And then it comes, you just turn. When God gives you something, you can't hide it. It just comes on. And the people give you energy. That's why home court advantage is a thing to that. And home advantage, your parents and your people at home. And one thing I want to tell you, write it down. Because if you don't write it down, a good idea down, when you think about it, it leaves you like a dream does. When you first wake up, if it was a good dream, write that thing down, a song. How many times have you dreamt something, you wrote it down? If you don't write it down, it goes away. So that's God giving you the first thing, and then your laziness, which makes you not write it down, you lose it. Some of those are $1 billion ideas.
That's right, and you just gotta log everything down. That's what my wife Joy, Joy, she says, make sure when you're talking on the phone and you're making plans with entertainers, you're booking somebody, whatever you're discussing, write it down. Because if you forget, then it could be anything. They could make up something. So you want to write everything down, annotate it, and that's so important in show business. So tell them, let's close it out, Hunter. Let's give some inspirational words to everybody watching at home and right here in person. And I know you got some CDs available. I just feel blessed to be right next to my good friend Hunter Hayes, Gloria here for the whole weekend, being part of the very first festival at Villa Roma. These are exciting times, many more great events to come here, and many, many changes, exciting changes coming here with the new ownership. I know I'm excited. So let's have some words for everyone watching, Hunter.
Well, how did we end up upstairs at the brunch this morning? When you're down in trouble, You need some love and care, and nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me. Soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you'll know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, yeah, yeah, yeah. You've got a friend.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Hunter Hayes. Thank you so much, Hunter. God bless. We're going to turn up the lights. If you want to come down and say hello to Hunter, meet him right now, you're more than welcome. So glad that you're part of this exciting times at Villa Roma. Thank you so much.